Hey, hello, my name is Jack Wolf, and welcome to my very first episode of Impressions. What's an impression? It's an idea, it's a feeling, it's an opinion about something or someone. Now, we all have them. We all get these impressions or these ideas or these thoughts about different things by reading or watching movies, etc., etc. So I have them too. I'm one of those guys. I want to share it with other people because they're changing my life, and I want to grow. I need to grow, and maybe it'll help you in some way, or maybe it'll help a friend, that you just want to share it with and be an encouragement to as well. And so here's my very first impression. No, not of Johnny Carson or Jay Leno or somebody famous. I guess Johnny Carson kind of dates me a little bit, but here's my very first impression of something that I read recently that inspired me. And here's the story. In 1957, there was an author by the name of Theodore Geisel. He's a writer, and his editor came to Theodore and said, I have a new bet for you. It's a new campaign that I'm starting. It's called the Just Say No campaign. And the campaign was about limiting writers to only a certain number of words and see what they could come up with. And so the editor had picked 50 words, and only Theodore could use those 50 words to write something. And if he did something creative and great, he would win $50. Whoever did the best job would win $50. Now, a lot of people would think, man, that's got to be like a big challenge. But just saying no to those words that he wanted to use actually stirred the juices up inside of him to really get creative. And let me show you those 50 words right now and see what you think, and then we'll check back with you. Now, you may not know Theodore Geisel as somebody famous, but I bet you know this guy by the name of Dr. Seuss. That's right, Dr. Seuss took that $50 bet and he wrote a book called Green Eggs and Ham. And that book has sold thousands and thousands of copies, Green Eggs and Ham. And, by being limited to what he had, he became more creative with what he had and was able to do extraordinary things. You know what we live with in our culture? We live with this idea that if I only had this, if I could only get that, if I had this person to work for me, if I had this resource right here, I would really be able to do something. And we live in a culture that's just like, it's just bombarding us with, we need more and more and more. But here's my challenge, and it challenged me, to stop thinking about what I don't have and look at what I do have. What do I have in my house that I could use? Who do I know already that I don't need to know somebody else? But if I could get creative with the people that I know, or creative with the resources that I have, I might be able to turn my next thing into a green eggs and ham type of situation. Sometimes if we work for a company, we'll look down our staff and we'll think, no, they won't work. No, they won't work if I just had this next person. But then that just kind of limits us from the creativity that really needs to stir in our hearts. And so my challenge for all of us is, let's not look at what we don't have. Let's take on the spirit of Theodore Geisel, of Dr. Seuss, and look what we do have and become very creative with that. Be very creative with your staff, creative at work, creative around your house, creative with everything that God's already given us. And you can apply this to your own life, to your staff, to the people that you work with. And you know what? If this stirs you, if you do something with this, if there's something that kind of unique that you want to share, after you get this post and you look at it, put something on the feed and say, hey, Jack, here's what I did. And I look forward to sharing with you every week a new impression. I hope you have an awesome week being creative with what you already have. God bless. We'll see you next week.